in the serene, icy landscapes of Scandinavia, where the northern lights dance across the sky and the silence of the mountains is interrupted only by the wind, a decision has emerged that demands reflection. Why? In 2025, has Norway decided that all new buildings must include air raid shelters? It sounds like the plot of a dystopian novel, doesn't it? Yet this is the new reality of one of the most peaceful and developed countries in the world. To understand this decision, we must delve into a mosaic of history, geopolitics, and humanity's instinct for survival. Picture yourself strolling through Oslo, Norway's capital. Clean streets, minimalist architecture, and a sense of safety so pervasive it almost makes you forget that conflicts still exist elsewhere in the world. Now imagine a modern house under construction. Within its sleek walls and expansive windows lies something unexpected, an underground air raid shelter. Designed to withstand explosions and save lives, this is now the standard. This Norwegian decision did not come out of nowhere. To comprehend it, we must step back in time. In 1998, Norway decided that new buildings no longer needed shelters. The Cold War had ended, and the imminent threat of armed conflict seemed to have been buried with the fall of the Berlin Wall. However, as history often reminds us, peace is never guaranteed. Fast forward to 2022. The war in Ukraine reignites tensions across Europe. A continent that believed itself immune to major conflicts is once again reminded of the fragility of its borders. For Norway, which shares a long border with Russia, the impact was more than symbolic. It was a wake-up call. Air raid shelters, a concept that seemed obsolete by the end of the 20th century, returned to the forefront. But why is this so significant? To answer that, we must understand what an air raid shelter represents. Technically, an air raid shelter is a structure designed to protect people from aerial attacks, explosions, or even radiation. Building one requires reinforced concrete, ventilation systems, and provisions to maintain power in the harshest conditions. But more than engineering, these shelters symbolize one of humanity's deepest instincts, the preservation of life. Currently, Norway has shelters that can protect approximately 45% of its population. Sounds like a lot, right? Now compare that to Finland, where coverage reaches an impressive 90%. This disparity alone explains Norway's concerns. In the event of a conflict, nearly half of Norwegians would have no safe place to go. It's a sobering realization. Who decides who gets access to safety and who doesn't? This is where Norway's bold decision comes in, ensuring that future generations won't face this uncertainty. But this isn't just about underground structures. The move is part of a broader plan, including over 100 initiatives to strengthen the country's crisis preparedness. These measures range from military exercises to investments in cybersecurity and emergency communication systems. Some may view this as pessimism, others as a sign of responsibility. Preparing for the worst doesn't mean expecting it to happen. Think of a seatbelt. You buckle it every time you drive, not because you expect an accident, but because you know it could save your life. This isn't just a story about policies and preparations. It's a reflection on our relationship with the future. Norway, often seen as a model of progress, clean energy, high quality of life, and a stable economy, reminds us that even in idyllic settings, the fear of the unexpected persists. Progress, after all, is no guarantee against life's challenges. The future is uncertain. Perhaps, in a world as interconnected and divided as ours, the greatest act of progress is recognizing that we still need safeguards. But what's it like to live in a country where air raid shelters are the norm? Imagine growing up knowing that beneath every school, supermarket, or apartment building, there's a space reserved for emergencies. Does this instill a sense of security or reinforce the fear that danger is always near? Psychologists suggest preparation can have a paradoxical effect. On one hand, knowing there's a plan can ease anxiety. On the other, the constant presence of shelters serves as a subtle reminder that threats are ever present. So, how do we balance preparing for the worst while maintaining hope for a better future? Norway's decision offers a fascinating example of navigating this dilemma. And for those of us observing from afar, it prompts reflection. What are we doing to prepare for the challenges of tomorrow? How can our communities, cities, and nations become more resilient while staying true to the values that define us? The deeper lesson here isn't just about shelters or wars, but about humanity's ability to anticipate, plan, and protect what matters most: life. In this, Norway shows us that preparation is not an admission of fear, but an act of care. So, the next time you gaze at the horizon and think about the future, remember Norway and its shelters. They're not just built from concrete and steel, but also from something more profound: the hope that, despite uncertainty, we can find ways to safeguard ourselves and each other. If you found this article insightful, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more stories like this. Knowledge is one of the best forms of protection. See you next time.